Good morning, everyone. So we are looking at part 3 of Thanksgiving. So in part 1, we learned a little history about the foods that we eat. And in part 2, we learned about the actual first celebration that happened. And what really happened completely has been lost, except for that single letter that has been found by Edward Winslow. Today we're going to discuss how Thanksgiving became a national holiday, a legal national holiday. So it's kind of tied into this religious celebration that started 100 years before the Pilgrims' first feast. It was a day that people would spend the majority of the day in church, and it became a day of fasting. And it might be the origins of the holiday because it was done at this time of year as Thanksgiving. It's not really understood if it is or it isn't tied into it. But by the mid 19th century, the fall harvest, that definitely was celebrated, and it wasn't on a fixed date. So we hadn't had a fixed Thanksgiving legal national holiday until 1941. It'd been celebrated for years, but it wasn't recognized by the government. It started in 1789. President Washington, our first president, he chose a national day of Thanksgiving. And this was a day at the national level. It was chose as November 26th, a Thursday. It was the last Thursday of the month. People in New England would celebrate this national day, and as they moved through the country, they took their traditions with them. Other people around the country, they started liking what they were seeing and started applying it to themselves. And except for the South, people in the South didn't like it. They felt it was more of a Yankee holiday. It was more propaganda. So they didn't celebrate it, or they didn't like it at that time. All right, so one of our champions to get the holiday established is Sarah Josepha Hale. This is a picture of her here. She was the editor of Godey's Lady's book. Here is a picture of the book. In 1846, she wanted the celebration to bring the country together in a positive way. In a positive holiday, positive way. She was very aware of the politics that had been going on that's separating the nation between the North and the South. She lobbied governors, senators, and presidents for 2 decades trying to get this holiday. She had her sights set on the last Thursday in November. Tying in with President Washington's picking of the November 26th. But she picked a Thursday because it was a day that the minister gave his midweek mass, or midweek sermon. And she felt it seemed to be a good day to bring families together and to be thankful and celebrate just within themselves. It wasn't until 1939 that Franklin Delano Roosevelt, FDR, pushed Congress to make the holiday a national legal holiday. He did this to boost the economy, and he tried to actually move it up a week from where it is to give extra Christmas time shopping. And it ended up with half the country celebrating that earlier week, half the country celebrating the following week, but there were many people within the country that were celebrating both weeks. And the earlier week ended up being called Thanksgiving Day, after FDR. So they finally settled on the 4th week of November as our national legal holiday of Thanksgiving. So next time we're going to talk about the Macy's Parade and football on Thanksgiving.